Let's start with something most guys don't learn until it's too late. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting what someone showed you the first time, especially in relationships. I'm not saying you should be cold or bitter. I'm saying you need to stop giving free passes to behavior that shows clear disrespect. Because once a woman sees that you'll tolerate it, she'll never see you the same way again. I've dated enough to know this. Most men get hurt not because women are cruel, but because men ignore the signs early. They convince themselves it's not a big deal, or maybe she didn't mean it that way. But the truth is, certain things cross a line that can't be uncrossed, and if you forgive those things, you're teaching her how to treat you. The first one, it's about public disrespect. Look, you can have disagreements, you can argue, that's normal. But the moment she disrespects you in front of others, it's over. I don't mean small teasing. I'm talking about public humiliation. Cutting you off mid-conversation, mocking you in front of friends, telling personal stories that make you look stupid or openly questioning your value. I dated a girl once who had this habit of making jokes at my expense whenever we were around her friends. Things like,
"Oh, he's bad with money, Dad. I handle all that."
or,
"You know how guys can't multitask?"
Everyone laughed. I laughed too, at first. But deep down, I knew what was happening. She was testing how much she could disrespect me before I pushed back. When I finally called her out, she said,
"You're too sensitive."
That's another test. If you back down there, you've lost the dynamic completely. Here's the rule. If she mocks you publicly, you correct it privately once. If it happens again, you walk, because she's not joking. She's signaling to everyone that you are beneath her, and the longer you stay, the more she believes it. Now, the second thing that should never get a pass, and I know people will say, flirting is harmless. No, it's not. It's disrespect disguised as fun. If a woman truly values you, she won't want other men's attention. It's that simple. I had a girlfriend once who kept old friends from college texting her. She said, "We're just catching up, it's nothing." But when I saw the messages, it was clearly flirtatious. Inside jokes, late-night replies, emojis that told me everything. And here's the thing, when you confront that behavior, she'll often flip it on you.
"You're controlling."
Or "you don't trust me." But it's not about control. It's about standards. If a man can message your girlfriend whenever he wants, and she entertains it, you're not in a relationship. You're in a competition. And no healthy relationship survives that. I forgave it once. Big mistake. Because what happens next is predictable. The messages don't stop. They just go private. And you start losing respect for yourself, because deep down, you know you allowed it. That's why I tell younger guys, if she seeks validation from other men while with you, walk. She doesn't respect the relationship, and she definitely doesn't respect you. The third thing is harder to spot because it doesn't always involve cheating. Sometimes she hides things, lies about where she was, who she was with, or twists details just enough to sound believable. When you catch it, she doesn't apologize. She deflects. Suddenly, it's your fault for not trusting her. I've seen this pattern dozens of times. When a woman feels cornered, she'll flip the emotional script. She'll cry, accuse you of being paranoid, or bring up something you did months ago. That's not love. That's manipulation. Here's what you have to understand. Trust isn't about perfection. It's about transparency. If she lies about small things, it's not the size of the lie that matters. It's the comfort she has with lying to you. That's what kills relationships. And if you forgive that too easily, she learns that dishonesty has no consequence. You'll start hearing phrases like,
"I didn't tell you because I didn't want you to get upset."
Translation, I didn't tell you because I knew it was wrong. When that happens, don't argue. Don't beg for honesty. Just distance yourself, because the woman who breaks your trust once and blames you for reacting will do it again. Now let's talk about something most guys don't recognize until they've been through it: emotional manipulation disguised as love. When you're young and you care about someone, you assume that every emotional reaction means they feel deeply. But sometimes it's just a control move. I dated a girl who used tears like a reset button. Every time we had a serious talk about lying, about boundaries, about respect, the moment she saw I was serious, she'd start crying. At first I felt guilty. I'd drop my point, comfort her, tell her it's okay. But over time I realized the pattern. The crying only appeared when she didn't want accountability. That's weaponized emotion, using vulnerability to dodge responsibility. If you're with a woman who cries, yells, or shuts down whenever you try to have an adult conversation, you're not in a partnership. You're parenting someone, and you'll walk on eggshells just to keep the peace. A mature woman can handle uncomfortable truth. She might not like it, but she won't punish you for bringing it up. So here's the rule: never reward emotional chaos. If she turns every serious discussion into a meltdown, step back. Let her calm down, but don't apologize for setting a boundary. Otherwise, she learns that the louder she reacts, the faster you'll back off. There's also a difference between testing your sense of humor and testing your self-respect. In the early stages of dating, women sometimes test what they can get away with. Showing up late, flirting in front of you, joking about other options. Most men fail that test because they laugh it off or try to act unbothered. I remember one woman I dated who would constantly bring up her ex. Little things like,
My ex used to do that for me.
or, you kind of remind me of him sometimes. At first I brushed it off, thinking she was just comparing experiences, but it kept happening. What she was really doing was seeing how much I'd tolerate before I pushed back. The first time I called her out calmly, told her that kind of talk was disrespectful. She got defensive, but she stopped doing it. The boundary worked because I enforced it once, clearly, and didn't turn it into drama. Younger guys often think being chill means letting everything slide. It doesn't. It means you're calm when enforcing respect, not avoiding confrontation. Never forgive repeated boundary testing. If she keeps crossing the same lines, she's not misunderstanding you. She's measuring your weakness. And here's one that hurts the most, because it always happens to guys who actually care. Maybe you help her out when she's broke. You listen to her problems. You support her through family issues. And it feels good, right? But slowly, you realize the relationship has turned into a one-way street. She doesn't thank you anymore. She expects it. She stops putting in effort because she knows you'll always pick up the slack. That's when she starts saying things like, if you really loved me, you'd understand. Or you're supposed to be there for me. What she's really saying is, I can take without giving back, and you'll still stay. I had to learn this the hard way. Years ago, I dated someone who always had a crisis. Money issues, family drama, emotional burnout. I was there every time. Then one month, I went through something tough, lost a job, felt low, and suddenly she was too busy. That's when I realized I wasn't her partner. I was her safety net. And once a woman sees you as a safety net, attraction fades. She can't respect what she depends on too heavily. Here's what I tell young men. Being kind doesn't mean being used. You help someone once or twice out of care, not as a lifestyle. If she only shows affection when she needs something, you're not in love. You're in service. You can't fix a relationship that's built on imbalance. Don't forgive emotional freeloading. It always ends with resentment. And here's something a lot of men don't want to admit. A lot of men forgive because they're scared. Scared of losing her. Scared of being alone. scared of starting over. I used to think walking away meant failure, like I hadn't done enough to make it work. But the truth is, staying in a broken situation out of fear is worse than being alone. Because every time you forgive what hurt you, you're training yourself to accept less. And the fear doesn't go away. It grows. You start thinking, maybe I'm asking for too much. You start shrinking yourself. Stop calling out bad behavior. Stop asking for respect. Stop expecting loyalty. You become a version of yourself you don't even recognize. If she senses that fear, she loses attraction instantly. Women can't love a man they don't feel safe following, and they can't follow a man who's scared of them. So the real strength isn't in forgiving endlessly. It's in being able to walk away when forgiveness no longer changes anything. Here's the hardest pill to swallow. Apologies don't mean anything without changed behavior. I had an ex who would apologize every time she crossed a line. Messages from other guys, disrespectful comments, lying about small stuff. Every time she'd cry, swear she'd do better, and I'd forgive her. But she never changed. Because deep down, she didn't have to. She knew I'd always take her back. You know what that taught me? Forgiveness without consequences kills respect faster than cheating ever could. If she can hurt you and still keep access to your time, your attention, and your intimacy, why would she ever change? Change requires loss, and that's where most guys mess up. They forgive too quickly, giving her full access back before she's earned it. So here's a rule. Forgiveness is proven, not promised. If she's really sorry, you'll see it in her actions over time, not in her words that same night. Now, let's be fair. Not every mistake means the relationship is doomed. If she disrespected you once, realized it, and made a genuine effort to correct it, that's maturity. Real relationships need room for growth. Forgive her once, with boundaries. Watch how she handles it. If she starts overcompensating, showing consistency, rebuilding trust, that's real progress. But if she starts acting entitled again after you forgive her, she didn't learn anything, she just learned you won't leave. So, forgiveness is fine, as long as you still respect yourself after giving it. If you walk away from a conversation feeling smaller, guilty, or manipulated, that's not forgiveness. That's emotional debt. Every man eventually hits that moment, the one where you look at her and realize you've explained the same thing 100 times, and nothing changes. That's when you walk, quietly. No long speeches, no arguments, just leave. I've done it once, and it was the hardest but most freeing thing I've ever done, because staying had turned me into someone bitter, cautious, reactive. Leaving gave me peace. Not because I wanted to hurt her, but because I finally stopped hurting myself. If you need a clear line to remember, it's this. Walk away the second you start betraying yourself to stay loyal to her. That's the real point of no return. After years of dating, you start to see a pattern. The women who respect you from the start never need to be reminded of boundaries. They don't test you because they see your value without proof. They don't need forgiveness because they don't play games that require it. And once you've experienced that, you stop chasing potential and start valuing peace. You'll realize that forgiveness isn't a moral duty, it's a strategic decision. You forgive once, clearly, and if nothing changes, you move on without bitterness. Because in the end, forgiveness isn't about her, it's about how much of yourself you're willing to lose trying to make something broken work. And if there's one lesson I want every young guy to take from this, it's this. Respect yourself the first time, because the second time, you won't have any left. Don't become the man who keeps forgiving, hoping she'll turn into someone else. Become the man who sets a line once and means it. Women respect men who respect themselves. They might not admit it in the moment, but deep down, They know boundaries are what separate boys who crave attention from men who command it. So next time you ask yourself, should I forgive her? Don't ask what love says. Ask what self-respect says. Because love without respect doesn't last. But respect without love can still build something real with the right person at the right time when both of you value it.